Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Savvylicious Arrangements. So here I'm going to be making the whipped cream icing for my cake. A client recommended that she wanted better cream icing, which is whipped cream, or some places call it satin ice, buttercream or better cream. So I'm just going to be taking this and I'm going to be placing it into my stand mixer, and I'm going to make sure to get all of it out as best as I can. You'll still have a little bit stuck at the bottom, but that's okay. But as long as you get majority of it out, that's pretty much what we want. So I'm just going to be taking my whisk for my stand mixer, and I'm going to place that on number 2. And I am just going to allow that to go ahead and mix. Now, the best way to do this is to put your bowl in the freezer and take your buttercream mixture and go ahead and place it into the bowl. That way the bowl is cold and the icing is cold. So that way it's easier and it's faster to mix, but I didn't have time to do that. So I just went ahead and just whipped it up a little longer. So that way my whipped cream icing came out nice and stiff. So now it's on 8 right now, but I'm going to place it on 10. So the longer you mix it, the stiffer the icing gets, the better cream, the whipped cream, whatever you want to call it, wherever it is that you're located. And this is what you want it to look like. You want it to look like this. Some call it soft peaks. Some call it stiff peaks. You want it to be stiff to where it's not falling off your spatula, or if you pick it up with your finger, it stays in place. It doesn't move. So I'm just going to be taking this and I am going to start applying it into my icing bag. And here I'm just showing you that it's stiff and I have to pretty much use a little bit of force to get it off. So I put my piping bag into a large cup, and I'm just making it easier for myself to put the icing into the bag. That way I don't have to worry about picking it up, putting it back down, picking it back up, putting it back down. So this is going to be an 8-inch cake, vanilla flavor, and the icing is going to be the buttercream. Now this icing is very light and soft and fluffy, and it's not your average sweet buttercream with the powdered sugar and vanilla extract and all that stuff. So this is the icing that you would use if you didn't want it to be too sweet. Now this is my favorite icing. This is the icing that I love. If it's regular buttercream on there, I would not eat it. I just don't really care for buttercream icing. It's just extremely sweet to me. I would take the icing off the cupcake, or I would just eat around the icing if it was a cake. So here I'm just leveling out my my cake. I didn't cut off the domes off the cake, because when I took them out of the oven, I went ahead and, well, I did. So I lied. So I cut the dome off of one cake, not all of them, just this one at the top, just so it could give me that flat surface. But the other 2 cakes I left with the domes on it. So when I take them out the oven, I place them upside down on the cooling rack, so that way the dome can like kind of flatten out on its own naturally. And I'm going to be taking my turntable and my silicone mat, and I'm just going to be using that so that it doesn't slide and move around while I am applying my icing and my filling. So everything on this cake is going to be made with the buttercream. The inside is going to be with it. The outside, I'm going to be piping some rosettes on there. And I know I'm supposed to be like teaching you guys how to do this stuff, but I don't really care to do voiceovers because I don't be knowing what to say sometimes. It's like, I know I should be telling you guys exactly what I'm doing, but I'm showing you what I'm doing. So why should I have to tell you what I'm doing also? But, just to save the hassle of the comments, I just leveled off my cake, made sure that it was leveled off in the middle. And now I'm stacking my cake layers, and I am going to start taking my icing, and I'm going to apply that into all the gaps so that way I can go ahead and get that smooth transition. So now I'm going to be taking my small spatula, and I'm just going to be smoothing out the icing in between each layers. Mind you, this is the only way that I ice my cakes. Any other way, it just doesn't work out for me. This is the only way that I can keep my cake layers in place without them moving and sliding and leaning. Okay. So if you have trouble with icing in your cakes and you stack them and they leveled and everything, and then when you go to put the icing on it, they kind of start to lean or start to slide or anything like that, maybe you should try this method and see how it helps you. It took me a little while to figure it out. I went to using the acrylic discs. I went from just kind of using every little method to figure out how to make sure that my cake stayed in place. So here I'm just taking the remaining of the buttercream, and I am just going to be placing that all over my cake for my crumb coat. And then I will, if this girl walk in front of my camera one more time, she ain't gonna have no legs, okay? Do y'all have family members or kids that like to be in your videos after you done told them I'm doing a video? This is me probably yelling at her. But anyway, so yes, I'm just going to be starting off my crumb coat with the buttercream. And what I'm going to say about this buttercream is it does not stiffen up. Okay? When you place it in the freezer, you place it in the refrigerator, you could place it in there. You could place it in the refrigerator overnight. I wouldn't recommend to place it in the freezer because then your cake is going to be frozen and then your guests won't be able to eat it until it thaws out. But if you place it in the refrigerator overnight, it still does not become stiff like the buttercream. The buttercream, you could place it in the freezer for a good 10-15 minutes and you can tap it with your hand and you have nothing. It's nice and stiff. Now this buttercream is not the one that you want to touch. When you place your icing on your cake, either you place it in the refrigerator or the freezer until you have to deliver or your guest comes and pick it up, your customer comes and pick it up. And make sure you do not touch it because it will transfer over onto your hand and then you'll have a messed up cake. And I kind of learned that from this crumb coat here because when I went to go take it out of the freezer, I wanted to see if it was stiff and I got some on my finger and I was just like, okay, well, you've been in here for a good hour, so I don't understand why you're still transferring over to my hand. So here I'm just showing you my crumb coat. It's not the best, but it's a crumb coat. So now I did the process of doing some rosettes because this is what the customer wanted. So I'm doing 3 layers of the rosettes and I ran out of icing, so I had to make some more. So I'm just testing it out right now just to make sure that it's good, nice and stiff. And another thing is if the body temperature from your hand kind of melts it and it turns into like this froth. So if you can like do it in sections, that'd be great. Because once you get to the bottom of the icing where the piping bag is, like where my hand is, it started to get like real soft, and like if you was to put whipped cream in the hot chocolate and you see how it like starts to dissolve, that's pretty much what it was doing. If that's the best way I can put it for you guys. So I'm almost finished putting the rosettes on my cake. I'm at the top layer now. I'm just going to keep going around and keep going around. So here I'm taking some disco dust or galaxy dust, or whatever it is that you want to call it, non-toxic dust, because you know I got some of those people in the comments that like to be like, oh, I know it's non-toxic, but we're still not supposed to consume it. Okay, to each its own. My customer recommended that she wanted edible glitter or non-toxic glitter or whatever you want to call it, just being honest. So this is what she's going to get. So this is the picture that's going to go on top of the cake as the cake topper. And I have some, I guess glitter paper is what you call it. I'm not sure what the name is. But I got this from my local Michael's for 99 cents. And I wound up just getting the picture and printing it out from my local Staples on photo paper. And I'm just going to be cutting this out around, the client, and then I'll go ahead and attach it to my glitter paper. So now I'll just be taking my hot glue gun and I'll be attaching this over to the glitter paper. Now that I have it transferred over to the glitter paper, I'll be cutting around the photo, just to give it more of like a 3D look. So that's what it looks like when I'm finished with it, and I'll be taking some sticks and applying that to the back of my cake topper. So now that my glue on the back of my sticks have dried completely, I am going to start taking my cake topper and I'm going to place that into the center of the cake. So I found these flowers in my cabinet where I have my arts and crafts stuff, and I just wanted to like bring some more life into the cake. Didn't I say if this girl walked in front of my camera one more time she wasn't gonna have no legs? I said that, didn't I? Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. She ain't got no legs right now. Okay, she on her way to the emergency room. But yeah, so I found these flowers in my arts and craft bin, and I just wanted to use them to like put some more decoration towards the cake. I turned out that I really didn't like them, but I had no choice. But this is it for the video, guys. I hope to see you on my next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and I love you guys. Bye.